So there's something very, very interesting about Dracula. You know, Dracula, the character, the mythical character, or the mythical creature, rather. As far as I know, to which my knowledge extends, Dracula is derived from an old Romanian word which means the devil or devil, and it's referred to a guy named Vlad Tepes, who supposedly lived during the 14 or 1500s, who fought against the Ottoman Turks, and who actually put his enemies on a pole and shoved the pole up their ass, really, and then penetrated them alive. Horrible way of killing his enemies, but I'm sure that the people he fought weren't as nice either. Anyway, so he lived in a castle in Transylvania, modern day Romania, and from that story originates all the other stories about vampires and probably werewolves and the like. Now, vampires, they have these fangs, right? And they like to suck human blood. They sleep in a coffin during daytime, and when nighttime appears, they mysteriously wake up and they start walking around praying for humans to suck their blood. Now, well, that's cool and dandy and a nice fairy tale, or maybe not so much a nice fairy tale, but whatever. There is a different type of vampire that you ought to be aware of, and those are the energy vampires. I've been speaking about energy vampires a lot, and I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not going to go deep dive into what an energy vampire is, because there are literally hours and hours of me talking about energy vampires. There's also I don't know how many thousands of words are written about energy vampires, but it's a lot. Anyway, and energy vampires, they are very, very persuasive, but they're persuasive for all the wrong reasons. They're using persuasion to get things their way. Here's what I mean. They're triggering your emotions. They're getting you worked up in order to get something from you. You know what energy vampires want? They only want things from you. They don't want to help out. No, they want things from you. And they don't want to get into some sort of commitment, meaning they don't want to do a favor for a favor. They only expect things from you. They don't want to do things in return. And so, in order to make you help them without requesting help in return, or expecting help in return, or making things seem like on the surface of things that no, you help them out of the goodness of their heart, even though they didn't specifically request anything. They instead will get you worked up, like really worked up. They'll trigger your emotional buttons. They're going to make you aggravated, angry, nervous, anxious, worried, happy, fearful, whatever it is. Just anything to get your emotions going. And when once they push the emotional buttons on it, once they pushed your emotional buttons, now they start requesting things from you. And now they feel justified in so doing. And because of that, it's very, very difficult for you to go back and tell them, look, I helped you, why aren't you helping me? No, because you weren't in an emotional state when you did so. And as such, they can sort of like get rid of the responsibility. They don't assume any responsibilities ever when they're doing that. And what that means is they don't owe you anything. They don't need to sort of like repay the debt, because there is no debt, because you simply did whatever you had to do because of your emotional state, whatever that means. Helping them out with something, giving them something, speaking well on their behalf of others just so that they can get some sort of a benefit or whatever. That's what they're doing. doing. And my point is simply, they're being very, very persuasive for all the wrong reasons. They're being persuasive for non-ethical reasons, for unethical reasons, for all without morale. That's what they are. And that's why you need to watch out for them. That's the persuasion that's wrong, and that's the persuasion that can be used to do, well, to do bad stuff, essentially. So, with that in mind the energy vampires. They always want to get you riled up and worked up, especially aroused with negative emotions, because they know that most people will do something and will do anything to make that emotional state stop. And that way to make that emotional state stop is to do whatever service or give them whatever product that it is that they request. Just think about it. That's the way that energy vampires trick and deceive you into doing their bidding for you. Into doing their bidding for them. Anyway, if you want to learn more about persuasion with respect to business and so on, get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.